Mizo is also in the studio. Most welcome to the Capital Gang, Malcolm. And I don't know if you know, the district governor is coming to my club on Monday.
Oh, is he?
Yes, so this is a good time to say you're a Rotarian.
Yes, I'm a
past president as well of Kampala North.
I'm a Rotarian at the Rotary Club of Chiwatule.
Yeah.
And very happy to be in Mwalimu's class this morning.
Fantastic.
A very good morning to our listeners, viewers.
Yeah. You know, Honorable Ssemujju, the Rotary district governor, told me I must say on every show that I'm a Rotarian. So I have met that requirement.
Congratulations.
Lydia Wanyoto Mutende is in the studio with a large bag. Congratulations on every recent win.
Thank you.
When NRM person comes with a large bag, that's how I describe it.
Good morning to our listeners. I bring you greetings from Mbale.
Yes.
City.
And congratulations on that win.
Thank you. I got a very big mandate.
Yeah.
I'm now the National Executive Committee member of the NRM NEC and also the Member of Parliament, flag bearer for Mbale City for the next term. So I come back with victory to the gang and bring greetings, and to my gang colleagues, good morning. And I'm here. Thank you.
Indeed.
Oscar, you realize she has not spoken about the bag at all.
Is that an NRM bag?
Just come with my luggage from Mumbai. I've just arrived from Mumbai. And like Oscar keeps saying, I'm now beginning my new re-election to SEC. The Central Executive Committee, the mandate is up there.
Yeah,
voting will be the 22nd of August.
Hold on. I'm going to ask you about that in a second. but this flag bearer, Lydia, this time
flag bearer and a member of the National Executive Committee.
How can we make it work in the general election?
What do you mean?
The last time you were flag bearer, there's a lady who came, and then
we will
this
see.
time we need to make sure.
The bridge, with your support, Oscar.
Yeah.
You know that he has been there.
Yeah.
I'm going to win.
Okay. And then so now
I look where I'm going. I don't look from where I'm coming from.
And
where I'm going is what matters.
Okay. Now it's SEC. What's
now
the
it's SEC. SEC is on the 22nd of August.
Okay.
The National Conference is going to take place SEC is on the 22nd of August.
Okay.
The National Conference is going to take place SEC is on the 22nd of August.
Okay.
The National Conference is going to take place says who votes for me.
Yes.
Not the numbers.
Okay.
The five executives of every district, city or town who are women. The Women's League executives, plus the chairpersons of all the sub-counties in Uganda. So you can add.
That total was about how many?
About 5,000. That's nearly the size of the NRM Women's League Council.
Women's League, yes.
So 5,000, you need just more than half.
That's a tough ask.
If you have two candidates.
Yeah.
But
we were at 38. I was told about 38.
So if they are 38, Lydia needs just 2,000, provided the others share the rest. Yeah.
Okay.
So she must make sure that others get a few of those.
Let's keep fingers crossed for you. You know we are biased. We are Team Lydia Wanyoto.
Yeah. Team Lydia, SEC,
So I have a guest.
Women's League,
Thank you. I have a guest.
Mbale City,
Thank you, Lydia. I have a guest. I also have another guest on the hour mark. And my guest today is Mr. Okure. I'm not so sure how to pronounce your first name, because when I heard you speaking, I couldn't work out. Is it Deo? How do you pronounce the first name?
So the first name is Deo.
Deo. That one I can manage, because even in Luganda it's Deo.
Yeah, that's Latin for God.
That's Latin for God.
Correct.
I didn't know. Mr. Deo Okure, welcome to the Capital Gang for the first time.
And he's my neighbor, seated next to me.
Right. So most welcome to the gang. You're head of research and global partnerships, AirQO, is that correct?
Yeah, that's AirCo.
AirCo.
Correct.
Right. What does AirCo do and what do you do?
So yeah, thanks for having me. And good morning to the listeners. Correct.
Right. What does AirCo do and what do you do?
So yeah, thanks for having me, and good morning to the listeners. And yeah, it's an honor to be here today. So AirCo is a research initiative hosted at Makerere University. That's the College of Computing and Information Sciences. So what AirCo does really is to support local capacity development on tackling air pollution. So how
tackling air pollution?
Air pollution, not just in Uganda, but in African cities. So we have an Africa-focused mission where we build data solutions to be able to quantify air quality data across African cities, and also look at developing some of the stakeholder engagement models to drive action and policy. So that's really about what AirCo is about. And
so, I came to Kampala yesterday early morning, and I was first time I've been to Kampala that early in the morning. I really felt for you, Malcolm, because I was in Kampala at about 6:15, and I could visibly see the air.
6:50, that's early in the morning?
Yes.
Right.
It was so visible. It was all really nasty looking, shocking. So we're going to discuss this topic after the politics. In the meantime, tell our listeners here, if they have a phone, how can they check on the air quality where they are?
So air quality is air pollution or air quality.
We will describe it a little bit. Just give us a tool now on the phone. What we can
so
do.
the tool is the AirCo app. So that's AIQR. And it's available on both Android and also iOS. So that should be able to give you...
Okay. My phone has this weather, the normal app that says weather. Would that work?
Yes and no. Depends on
no.
exactly. So because this has to be fed in by actual data on the ground.
Okay.
And what happens is that when you have the app, we have sensors, about 176 sensors deployed across Uganda, including Umbale city as well.
So, Dale, we are going to stop this one. I'm going to ask Malcolm to pass his phone to you.
No problem.
Because he's the youngest man in the studio now.
I think I have a colleague here. Sasha can also help
then
everyone else.
Load the AirCo.
When
then
the
you
time
can
comes,
tell us.
we'll be talking with...
Malcolm has already loaded it.
Right.
So we by the hour mark, because we have Dr. Kienda coming as well, we will know what the air quality is like at Capture Radio.
Right.
And I'm so pleased somebody is now engaged looking up.
No, I am not. You see, one time we had the Mzungu, an American, he was, I think, doing a PhD in journalism. So he came to do internship with us at Observe. And the first news story that he saw in Kampala was traffic jam. He thought that actually in Uganda that is the news. So air quality is Ruzungu Oscar. People are looking for what to eat. Now you are telling them air quality.
Well, I think let's wait for the 1 hour.
People are looking for what to eat.
And you are telling them
looking at
air quality, so they will be shocked.
Okay.
It's important.
Yes.
But on the list of priority, you can ask an average Ugandan to list their priority. I'm not sure it will even feature there.
So that's the opposition we have. On the hour mark, we'll have a discussion.
We have what to do, and I hope he's going to be one of the champions in Kira municipality.
I hope so.
So let's go to the politics first. So you have to bear with the politics, and I hope you're a voter, Deo. Where do you vote from?
I'm actually registered voter in Kira municipality.
So
now
the
attitude has changed from Ssemujju. All of a sudden it has changed.
We have to have this difficult conversation.
I'm not a voter in Kira, but that's
you were
my
born
home.
there.
My father was born there. So I have people there who vote, so this is very important. So we go to NRM Primaries. Lydia, once again, congratulations. Appeals and petitions are ongoing. Lydia, you're on microphone. So when the president says, Tanga Odoi, Dr. Tanga Odoi, you must not involve yourself in the appeals, why was it necessary to say it?
I don't know, you ask him, Jose.
You're his representative on the gang.
Oscar, listeners need to know that Lydia was once a commissioner.
Yes.
Was once a commissioner responsible, and they also went through hell.
Yeah.
So we have the right person, not just as a candidate in the valley, but someone who has organized the NRM elections before.
I was the commissioner of the NRM Metro Commission, and also in charge of Western Uganda, and also in charge of petitions and court matters.
So this is totally your territory.
It's not. We are not starting with this one. We've been there. The NRM election.
Oh, sorry. Let me first tell Dale, we have Star Cafe goodies. Enjoy coffee. There's samosa. Ssemujju hasn't been here for a while. That's why he came in the studio early. He has been at it working. So, as the one general once said, you don't need to come with a chapati in your pocket. We are all safe here. Continue.
So I said that I did that work. I served the party in that capacity for 2 terms, about 12 years, but in charge of Western Uganda, but also in charge of petitions and court matters.
So this time round,
in the elections in the NRM family are extremely competitive, and like Ssemujju will tell you, there are some constituencies in Uganda. Once you win the party primaries, you are as good as in the next parliament. But in some areas, like where I come from, work has just started. Because as like you said, I've been a flag bearer and I just retained it, but this time maybe with a bigger mandate, which I hope I can use for the next level. So petitions are a given. Because ours is a mass party, but also very competitive. I've known some constituencies that had 12 candidates.
In the NRM primaries?
Oh yeah, 8 candidates. A few could have had fewer candidates, but also very volatile. You know the examples, I don't have to tell you. They could be 2 or 3, but very, very competitive. And some of them, it's issues of... it's like a do or die, but also issues of ego, power show, you know. There are others that have a lot of camps, you know. We have some areas have a lot of camps, but some people went unopposed. So that's our party. There are areas that we had people that went unopposed.
Are the petitions this time around too many, or that's about the average?
That's about the average. Normally we have that. Actually, in my time, this time we had like 500 petitions. So this time I've seen 200 something.
Yeah.
But the problem is that this time they have no time, because the deadline is really before 22nd. They hardly have 3 weeks, and they have had like 2-3 weeks, and there are areas where if they are to repeat, it will require an extra human resource management, because where they are going to repeat must be neat and snap. But in an organized area, if they had followed the rules and regulations, this was supposed to be an election that wouldn't have had a lot of problems. One, we had a register where a registrar had to go in the village. It's a village meeting, so people are defined. They are defined according to the household. Say, okay, board distance. You're not moving many, so you know each other even on the village. So you walk to your village, there's a roll call done, then you line up. The women's seat was the first one, so by midday, should have had the women's election done, and by 1 or 2 o'clock, the women's results should have been out, and then the constituency, what you call for the rest of it, Akavona, you know, although majority of them say Akava Sajja, because there are few men who contest on the constituency. But this time around we had them. So we have work cut out for us. We hope that we'll resolve the issues of petitions, but there are people, even when they lost genuinely, they will come as independents. They want to have another chance, which is also their right. We also have people who still feel that there were issues in the primaries. They still have their one hand in the independent. So Parliament, we wait to see how many people. You might have a majority. If we do not work hard, we might end up with many more members of Parliament. Because even across the board, I've seen a lot of issues in the opposition. They also like to have a lot of independence. So Uganda might go back to individual merit if we do not manage the internal management of getting candidates who are on the flag. We might be very few who got parliamentary flag. The internal management of getting candidates who are on the flag. We might be very few who got parliamentary flag. 20th really, because we have a national conference beginning on the 22nd of August. You do not want to go to a national conference without resolving the questions about flag bearers. Because of flag bearers are members of NEC. And if you're a member of NEC, then you are the core member of the national conference. So I want you to come to the national conference as members of NEC when they're actually flag bearers. So somehow work must be done. People are going to ban their midnight lap and make sure that we have flag bearers countrywide for members of parliament, for LC5s, because even now we've already also had elections for LC5s. That one was on Thursday. So even them, they also have a lot of petitions out there. LC5s and mayors. So there are also petitions out there, and this has been elections during the rain season. I've had people saying, oh, you know, there was a lot of voter turnout. For the 17th, the voter turnout was huge, but we had also a lot of rainfall around the country. So some of the hindrances are weather, because we are running elections in open grounds, primary school grounds, where we normally meet in village meetings, village barazas. Those are the venues for the election. So I wish my party well. I hope that we can pull this off and have flag bearers for every constituency and run the national conference without a lot of grievances.
Malcolm, Lydia has spoken like a true lawyer, generalize things, but this time round,
I've been in it, so I have.
You've been in it. You have to be.
I don't know if you're asking me to betray my profession, and I do not speak like her.
Betray your profession a little bit and not speak like her. There were some ridiculous things we are told. Someone who had clearly lost was announced a winner, and some elections, as Lydia has attested, went late into the night. You know, matters of concern, and now there doesn't seem enough time to resolve all these things.
Yes, Oscar. I think every day that passes, we hear something novel about the NRM primaries and how things went wrong. I'm sure there are so many success stories. Lydia is how things went wrong. I'm sure there are so many success stories. Lydia is,
but it's a landslide.
But I've interacted with quite a few people that petitioners, and also just people that participated in the process, and you struggle to find situations where things went perfectly fine. First of all, the whole idea of lining up is something that people were still trying to understand, especially when you have a clear constitutional provision for the NRM that says secret ballot, and now the lining up is coming up. Then there was the idea of joint campaigns, which honestly was
we did an amendment in the NRM constitution, last national conference, and we amended from secret ballot to lining up. It's constitutional. It's in the laws of our
and maybe that hasn't been popularized enough. But when you had the joint campaigns, I think that was the beginning of some of those challenges, because you have people who are bitterly contesting against each other, and I think that's the right word, bitterly, because the level, the lucrativeness of these positions. We discussed this last time I was on the show, that it's like you've broken a bank when you become the flag bearer. Lydia here has confessed that there are some places where once you're the flag bearer, then you're as good as having won the election. I do not know if that is because of the support that is there per se, or because the machinery will just override everything else and ensure that, either way. But the level of confidence that comes from that tells you that people have to fight tooth and nail to get there, and tooth and nail politics is not good. Not in the party, not for the country. Some of that is also buttressed by how Mr. Museveni at the very top works around ring fencing that position. Now, if the person who snaps a finger and becomes president has to work very hard, or people around him have to work very hard to protect that position, how much harder do others have to work? Do the ministers, we've seen the videos of ministers and their bodyguards, and they're firing live bullets at if you have won an election.
I was going to say, don't talk about the Prime Minister.
No, I'm not going to mention what the...
I was going to say, don't talk
I'm not going to talk about the Prime Minister and what did not happen to her.
Yeah.
But the level of bribery that there are videos of people lining up, receiving money, and you go to the line, and they're writing names. They're writing, you register your name, you receive money, you go. Now, if with videos, now if we have that much evidence, obviously the constitution has that, the guidelines have that question about substantiality of the substantial effect of the malpractice, whether it affects the final product in a substantial manner, and I guess that's where the lawyers are going to have to sit down and make that decision. I don't want to appreciate the fact that there's a real attempt at having a credible process of reviewing. It feels like it's a futile one, because people are going to have to either go as independents at the end of the day. Some are using this opportunity to legitimize their independence decision, that I actually came and petitioned and my grievances were not addressed, and so I'm now going as an independent. But I think it still goes...
The Constitution says if you go as an independent, you're thrown out of the party.
And there are people who will be happy to be thrown out of the party. The only challenge is, if they win and they're in parliament, then that party that has thrown them out will be very eager to draw them closer. It becomes now a question of politics, but which is disingenuous in a way, because why would you not want someone in? You don't support them to get to that point, and when they are there, you become their close friend.
Yeah.
I really wish. Ssemujju talked about the taxonomy of needs, and sometimes that comes into question. Air quality and integrity are very low on the but I do wish John Musime and his team. I know John. We went law school together. He's a standout character. I think he will do his best within the circumstances he's in.
Like you said,
and the time they have between July 29th and I think September 1st to dispose of over 380 cases.
Wow,
that's quite a task.
Well,
and then the healing process begins after that, because
that's what I wanted to put Ssemujju. All this division, Malcolm talks about the bribery, but then the divisions that have come up in the party. This is a good time to welcome Navi. Yes, you're most welcome back. Marianne Kasule Namfuka, welcome back to Gang.
Thank you, Oscar. Good morning to our listeners.
Yes, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And has motherhood made you kinder? You kinder, generous?
Made me kinder.
With
I was already kind.
With a
I was already kind.
With a sweeter tongue.
Yes.
People
It has.
appreciate you. You know, these are the benefits of motherhood.
You will see, Oscar.
We
You
will
will
see.
see.
Right.
People saying they miss Nafi, so
Yeah.
I think they're happy to hear that. Yeah, they've been asking about you.
Yeah.
So it's good that you are back.
So-
Even Ssemujju was worried
Yeah.
that government was after me and had, imprisoned me somewhere, and he was willing to come and rescue
And
me.
rescue you.
This is what I love about Ssemujju.
No. So, Honorable Ssemujju, back to you. There's great division. We've seen the division in the opposition parties, and they completely split. They never come back together. But the vitriol, so to speak, that has come from these elections, will there be unity in the NRM party?
Was it there?
Is it there?
It was there.
Where?
You see, people in NRM, majority
The unifying
is the state. Because people who seek to be candidates in NRM, majority are people who are seeking to benefit and be part of the state. They're not part of the party. In the last elections, members of parliament who lost the elections went to Entebbe to meet Museveni. In the meeting, the first thing he said, those of you who want jobs, put up your hands. And they did. Then he said, those of you, what do you want? I'm going to contest you. He said, okay, you will see what will happen to you. Then one by one, he took them to a room and gave them money, and they left. After cheating elections, he started deploying. I chaired a committee on Kosase 2014-2016. One of the biggest problems we had with the boards of parastatals is that majority of board members were people who had lost NRM elections. One by one lined up and asked to be part of the boards. And one case of one of the boards, which was very interesting, one of those such a people who joined the board had no idea of what a board does. So on Monday, he dresses up, he shows up, he says, where is my office? The MD,
As a board member.
yes, the MD told him, you sit once in 3 months, they give you a retainer. He said, no, the president gave me a job to run this organization, give me my office. Then they had to call in a minister and so on and so forth. So there are people who are in NRM, not because they believe in NRM, and I see that every day at Parliament, that they will come to you to tell you are in a meeting, this guy is this. I saw Major General Kayanja complaining, and you can pick his words to justify what I am saying. Where do they get all this money? These drones, he was calling it drone. 50 of them they deployed in Rakai. Do they want us to go and fight over their money? So even Kayanja, who because of history is part of them, is also complaining against them. So if Kayanja is not one of them, who else is? Because he was in Ruero, he came here, he was a deputy of Muntu during the first setup of the NRA structures as a deputy for Director of Military Intelligence. So Oscar, the question you've asked, the divisions are there. I know, for example, in Kakumiro, where Nabanja comes from, I know one MP in Parliament who has been under a lot of pressure. He doesn't breathe because of Nabanja. And I saw him the day his choice of an NRM chairperson, I think for the district, went through, and the way they were jubilating, and Nabanja was there sulking. So in every district you have these divisions, because these people, no wonder each and every meeting that Museveni attends of those NRM meetings, he has a lecture on ideology. Lecturing even people who have been in NRM for 20 years. His lecture standard is ideology. He is the only one who knows the ideology and who thinks he's serving that ideology. The rest of the NRMs are ordinary people, ordinary souls, who in a normal setup would never have access to Parliament or any other government job. But because you are in an abnormal situation, the first qualification for you to access a government job or an opportunity is to proclaim you are NRM. and the most direct route is to participate in the election. Then you've earned yourself a right to bargain. So Oscar, these divisions are there. At the parliamentary level, you have ministers who can't greet each other. They come from one area. But sometimes it's because of competition that Museveni most likely will choose a minister from Wakiso. So I have to elbow my neighbor such that I am the only one remaining standing. But because they are all serving one master, who is the only one who guarantees these opportunities, either remove them or offer them, he will call them one by one. And you will hear them blame each other and praising that one master. The president has intervened, the chairman of the party has intervened. It is Tango Doi. Because I saw, and Museveni is very pretentious. Tango Doi can't deploy the military that you saw. I saw military people roughing up Muse, who was a deputy to Kaiura. I don't know where he's contesting from. Kanungu, a deputy IGP being roughed up like a chicken thief. And I celebrated, I said, thank God, I didn't know I would live to see this.
Right? I thought he was fighting. He's the one who started fighting.
Yeah, but you know where it ended. Whether he started or not, in the past he would just be ordering that Ssemujju should be thrown behind a pickup and they will throw you. Now I saw him also facing the very force he participated in the building. I saw Kayanja crying, who was heading Wembley here, shooting without notice. Also crying and saying, these bullets in my leg. I said, okay, that's what you have done to others. God will serve you the same meal. I saw Nabanja. I am told she was the one who was saturating the video as one way of explaining herself. So that video that you saw is not a video from a journalist. It was a video from Nabanja, because she had participated in slapping people and she feared that they would saturate that ahead of her. So she saturated one where it is as if they are beating her, because the intention was to cover up the other. And many others. I was with Honorable Salam Nsuma, and he told me what should bother us, the rest of the country, is that if these fellows can serve themselves with this sort of election, what about the election that they are going to serve the rest of the country? Oscar, in the youth elections, and I have seen Museveni, as I said, pretentious as he is, celebrating that we won youth elections. I've told you, in my constituency, they were not there. The village where I stay, they came in the morning. NRM people were the ones who were appointed by Electoral Commission. They brought people, and because they thought they had brought more people, they say now, okay, it is everybody should participate, because these elections of youth, you are supposed to be aged between 18 and 30. So they didn't realize that by opening that everybody should vote, the whole village will come quickly, because this is a town. So they started lining up. My boy of PFF got 480 votes. The one of NRM, with the people who had failed, got 300. Now they brought 2 police patrols, started firing in the air, took away the woman who is NRM register in my village, but was also the one conducting youth elections, put her in a patrol and drove away. The rest of the position, because they are 9, they filled them at a police station. I saw Namiaro, who is I don't know which position now. Recently I saw Museveni appointing a senior presidential advisor, but she runs Museveni's office as the chairman of NRM in Chambo. I saw in NRM Primary shouting that they are signing NRM, filling and signing NRM elections declaration forms at police stations. So this whole mess, Oscar, NRM may seek to correct, because the stage we are in now, Museveni wants everybody, and it will go on. So he wants the votes of Lydia, who won by landslide, but even the fewer votes of Lydia's opponents, Museveni wants them. So whether there is a complaint or not, he will meet all of them.
Yeah.
In the case of Lydia, she may not have the same problems that others will have, like a hotly contested one, like a Sechikubo. In the previous elections, he would appear at Harare with both of them, and then he says, all these are my children. One case I was still an observer in Zimbabwe. Museveni was not even able, because in all areas where he went, he would ask for his vote, and then he would raise the hand of an NRM aspirant. He says, this is our candidate. In Zimbabwe, he didn't. And Kutesa was standing next to him. He says, you announced the NRM candidate. I have those pictures. We took them when we were an observer. Kutesa barking at Museveni. I mean, only Kutesa can do that. But Museveni didn't. He said, "You announced the NRM candidate." The man just walked to his car because he had now presented it to the electorate. He went to Niwagawa Wilfred, who is my friend, somewhere in Kampala. Niwagawa did not participate in NRM primaries at all because he knew, but he had a following. So he appears at Harare, even with one who is independent, but had not participated in NRM elections. He came with both. And he said, Niwagawa, you come and speak. So you are dealing with I'm going to find the right word.
He's their father. So
father of what? Father of violence and confusion and buffet.
Dale, have you been following the politics?
Well, yeah, not to the level, the detail that I guess the other parties here have, but
they're like combatants here.
Right. Yeah, but obviously I come from Lao region, and my views about politics have been very much shaped with the experiences in my early years. I think, as you're all aware, obviously, for close to 20 years I was a conflict area, and I think I was fortunate to kind of see the stark contrast between that part of the country and obviously the other side here. So I think I see that it's really should be a force for society transformation, and I do think many of us with some level of privilege should be more involved in the day-to-day and the local issues.
Yeah, but even Lango is going to hit up the two ladies who are competing for one seat. That's very hot.
That's not the battle.
That's not the battle.
The battle in Lango is that Akenau has been working with Museveni for many years. He has now rebelled, even declining to go and meet. So Museveni has staged a process to remove him. So the chaos in Lango has nothing to do with those. That is peripheral. The real battle is with Akena, who they are now internally complaining that this guy was very intelligent. So he came and accessed the state. After building himself, now he has turned against us. So you will hear the Chiboko against Akena.
We had him here recently, but yes,
well, yeah, I guess that's interesting information there. Yeah, but I think on the NRM primaries, I'm just intrigued about the logistics of lining up. So it puzzles me how that works out. So maybe I would want to be educated how that actually works, because of I would think it's very complex and also fairly not practical. But again, they've done it, and maybe wish them well.
Nanfi,
yes,
what is the cost of becoming an NRM flag bearer and then on to becoming
Lydia here is going to tell us. You see, Oscar, I think at this point...
Are you hearing what Ssemujju is saying? Even before money, you need police and military first.
That needs money. Because, trust me, none of those is standing up without money. But you see, Oscar...
Those ones you can't buy them.
and he added that our only contribution in Parliament up to now was the Zake saga.
Yes.
He had a big rant against
he did. He gave a whole interview to air his grievances. And Oscar, looking at all these people,
it didn't seem like
I keep wondering whether they go back. He didn't think what?
It wasn't an interview. It was just straightforward
rant.
No.
Afterwards, he did give an interview with one of these online blogs and explaining himself. I guess he realized he had gotten far. But you see, Oscar, when I look at people like Kayanja,
Nanfi, you also realize that someone has gone too far?
Yeah, you see, in NRM, you can pay a price you are not prepared for. You're Kayanja, you're not Muhanji or Ramirama. So you have to be careful when you're one Kayanja from Rakai. It's not enough for you to have been served in the bush, and he's seen what has happened to other Kayanjas. So, Oscar, you see,
I thought motherhood was making you kinder.
No, I am mellow. Please listen carefully. Kinyamatama.
Yes.
Okay, so Oscar, when I look at people like Brigadier Kayanja, I ranting and Major General, ranting and aggrieved and throwing tantrums, complaining against the very monster that they built. There is a sudden schadenfreude that I feel. Like, you saw this coming, you dumped down a whole nation. Look at everyone who is standing for election. None of them is even fit to be a head boy of P7. And yet they come offering nothing. Have you had anybody? Except Lydia. When you look at these people standing, I was watching on different media forums because I have time now on my hands. I'm still on maternity leave, so I still have time. Yes.
It doesn't end.
It's 2 years. Scientifically, it's after 2 years.
Please go on.
No,
That is 36 years. No, Oscar, I have time, so I've been following these elections, and I'm yet to see any of these people even articulate what they have to offer their communities.
At this moment in time, maybe that's not the important thing.
No, it is actually important. Therein lies the crux of elections and democracy. You looking the why we do all this, that whole exercise. Look at you, Oscar, with all your education, you think that's not even relevant.
No, we talked about air quality at the beginning of the show, and Ssemujju was saying, come on.
You see, the quality, but even the fact.
Africa went to a police station.
Yeah.
What was she demanding?
Your fingerprints and what?
Yeah, I wanted them to. I wanted their forensic experts to come and take the fingerprints of the scene, and the OC looked at me like I was missing something. Nayogera oluzungu lungi. OC didn't understand where I was coming from, but I said the forensic, your forensics team should come over and look at the scene before anyone else, before it's even tampered with. But I guess I had watched too many movies. Oscar, back to these guys. The whole NRM mess unfolding is very typical, and as you have seen, the whole nation isn't even surprised that this is where we are at, because it's been building over 40 years to this place where people now look at elective politics as an opportunity to eat. I'll tell you this, Oscar. 500 MPs plus in Parliament. If you removed their MPship, they have no jobs. None of them has even any other source of income apart from being an MP and stealing from government. IGG is watching. People spend all this money. Someone has been in Parliament 5 years and they're spending 1.5 billion. IGG should swoop in and call them in and demand, where did you get from this money? People are confessing to corruption, and she's seated at her desk. She turns up at work and is not even giving in other sensible countries, but we are not one. There would be all these videos would be put together. IGG would summon all these people, and they would answer to why. Because
Perhaps
even see young kids are lining up, and like Malcolm said, we see money, and the third parties, people are being bought by 2,000 shillings. 2,000 shillings, Oscar, is given to a person, and they go and sell their vote. And when you look at the person who is taking the 2,000 shillings, they're so impoverished, but unfortunately they can't connect their poverty to their poor leadership. I saw someone like Katuntu going back after 25 years to very impoverished people to ask for their mandate again. And I sent a message on the group asking, what are you even telling them that they are buying at this point? What are you promising them? But we are at the point where people even make statements of and this explains why you see most ministers have lost, like Olideko, or while you were eating, you were not sharing with us, so now you go away and we put in someone else who will eat and share with us. And therein lies the criteria for choosing a leader in this country. And then you will wonder why, when they get there, they are self-serving, they are doing nothing to serve the people, they are not making any changes to people's lives, but they are coming back after 5 years, having appeared in their constituencies 3 times to ask for people's money to vote for them again. And people, so we've lost the plot completely. We are off the track. We are off. You know, when a train goes off the track and finds itself, I don't even know anyone. And when you hear NRM MPs complaining, I won't mention names because they said this in private about the astronomical sums that they have to spend to even get in power. I keep telling them, it's like you are in a bus, but you are responsible for selling brakes, and then you sell faulty brakes to the bus driver because you're making money and enjoy off those 40 bricks, and then you climb onto the bus. How foolish are you to think anything is going to be different? So when you see the messy system that there is, and then the very same people will come here. Ofonopono came here and again defended the election system in this country. Now he's on the other side. He's feeding it, and if he hadn't defended it, maybe by now we would have an improved situation where he can come in and sell to his constituents his mandate on the proper criteria of what democracy is. But now, because we have a sham democracy going, he's a victim, and he's warrior to me, warrior to all of us who don't have as much money. No. You built the system brick by brick, so suffer the consequences, and maybe another time you will learn. But unfortunately, like you started with, the quality of NRM people are not the kind who learn anyway. So 5 years down the road, we'll be back to this. Hopefully by then, the president will be dead, and then we can move on. Because before he dies, I don't think the country can even move on to anything else.
Here, Lugeda Michael said, and Namfi starts from where she left.
She's kinda.
But this is the most serious analysis I have listened to since this thing started, Oscar. Frank,
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Let me go back to the lawyer Malcolm. We will not let Namfi have last word on this one. So, if we are thinking of sending you, Malcolm, to Parliament in the next 5 years, how much money do we need to amass to get you there?
Plus police and military.
Ssemujju as plus.
You've heard that there is police and military required.
And Nafi said even not on money. If we start now, how much do we need to amass?
We have a minister who has lost NRM Primaries. At one church function, he donated 300 million.
300 million?
Yeah. At one function. I have my MP.
Which minister is this one?
I am not going to say the name.
No, please say.
No, I'm not.
It's not public information?
But the church is public.
So why aren't you sharing?
I have an MP from Kampala Municipality who we joined Parliament as FDC. So he told him one time they went to another function, he had carried 1 million. He said that first, the minister who donated the 300, in that church he donated 80. Another one donated the 50. He said I had to borrow now from the people in the church, at least 5.
That is one.
He had one
with his 1 million.
He borrowed from the people inside the church, at least to make it 5 so he looks decent. But they have lost both of them, those ministers.
So back to the question.
I think Honorable Ssemujju has answered that question.
But
halfway.
When he was mentioned, did he also looked shocked? He said 1 million.
What was he thinking?
I was just trying to say that so what happened to his 1 million, because it happens to us. It's not about the opposition. No. You see, Ssemujju was talking about.
Since you're a candidate, I must caution you, don't confess anything.
No, let me tell you, it's not just about because the opposition MP. Don't qualify that. I'm from the NRM party. But it is not news because the NRM party also have people have been there. I've been serving NRM since I was left school. From Makerere straight to the secretariat. I'm not talking, I'm giving you an example.
You can give
no, so-called Indeko. You can attend a function, like he has said. You've gone with your fiver, even at a burial or at a function. You've gone with a gift of 200,000. Then a fellow member of the same system, they bring a 200 million, 550 million. So it's not about opposition. Then they begin calling us selfish because look at, for me there was a campaign of Musoke 1996 when I just joined, where they carried the Rubengo. That Rubengo campaign says this one has been with the system since the Rubengo campaign, and Shazia brought for us 500,000. But that's what I have. So it's not about it's not about somebody from opposition and other from government. Even us in government, we have gone through a lot. We cannot explain why we do not have too much money.
And the president has commented on this on this issue.
They keep telling that
telling people that he's the one who should be giving out that kind of money because he has he has a slush fund for that. And he asking RDCs, where do you get yours from? Asking MPs, where do you get yours from? But Oscar, he as the father that we have referred to him as, he has led by example, because he has gone around doing the exact same thing, and it seems to have worked for him. So if you will not blame an MP who decides to carry a bag of money when his father is carrying a sack of money. I don't think you should, because that has been the commercialization of our politics. It has been very deliberately done so that it remains exclusive to a certain group of people. The only way you can win an election is if you have money and if you use brute force. Oscar, when you look at the front page of the Saturday Monitor, you see what just a microcosm of what happens in NRM elections. This is the political settlement theory I was talking about, where you have every political question in Uganda historically has been settled by violence. Every political question. So it seems that everybody is looking for ways to do that. If you can't buy the violence to bring it in, then you can pay for it to go away. But either way, violence is the way that the political questions of the day get settled. Historically,
Malcolm, you don't have a violence. So how are we going to send you to Parliament?
But that's exactly the problem.
That's what you need.
That's exactly the problem.
Yeah.
That I don't have the violence, and I won't be able to make it. I remember there was a clip from the Minister of Investment, and she was talking about how she spent 500 million in 3 days.
Yeah.
As part of the campaigning, and she lost. On top of that,
and it was kind of conversational.
Yeah, yes. So if you're spending money like that, then you're looking to recover it. And when we start having the stories of Mabati, then we shouldn't be surprised that this is so. Oscar, I think for me to be able to go to Parliament, we must be able to revolutionize the way we view politics first. Until then, I am going to be Muntu Awansi like the rest of us. And leave those ambitions to Lydia and Ssemujju.
Ssemujju, I have young people that I'd like to send to Parliament. These the intelligent people we have here. The other day we had Kato, the lawyer. We have Malcolm here, the lawyer, Nafuka, lawyer. Deo here, environmentalist. Mojuni, journalist. The geopolitics. Kwezi. So how do we send them to Parliament? Because Malcolm here does not have 300 million.
I have a question of that, actually.
Yeah.
Why is it so difficult to legislate campaign financing? Because I know it's I don't know if
I think you should.
Because number one wouldn't be interested in that. You see, the simple answer is
political will.
Whenever there is a mess, there's someone who benefits from the mess. You may look at the politics in Uganda today as an accident that happened. But trust me, there is an architect to this system.
But you can return the question to him.
The whole system.
Nafi, so you can tell him, you go to Parliament and fix these things.
Yeah, but he's not fixing it. No, you see,
they can only be fixed
in a week. Oscar, they can only be fixed if they were a mistake. They are not. They are deliberately like that. The system is deliberately like that. You see, for many years, this has served the president, the current president that we have, divide and rule. In the messiness, he thrives. If the system was clear and leadership was streamlined and there was the best leader would come to the top, there is no best leader who would even who would pass his bills in Parliament. You remember his speech in Jinja during that election, Basari election, where he said, we don't even care. Mwiru, yes. Where he said, we don't even care. As long as you come to, you can sleep, and as soon as you wake up, you vote NRM, we don't care. And he's made statements to that effect over the years. So yes, you may look at it like it's a mess, But in this mess he thrives, and he has deliberately built a system that is messy so that he can thrive, and then it stays in power for longer. Because look at the crop of leaders that this messy system brings to the top.
We have leaders.
Look at the prime minister you have. The quality of leadership, because people who are sensible will never partake in this. You won't see Malcolm here being part of this madness.
But we want him to go to Parliament.
But you want him to go to
Parliament.
Parliament.
Stop for
So
a break.
because those people...
Listen to these people talking about Namfi, says Lugeda Michael, and Namfi has started from where she stopped then, going head on with gangsters Abdu and Oo, despite their absence. Namfi doesn't disappoint. The Iron Lady Namfi is back to the gang. So listeners, as we stop for a break, we have Dr. Kirenga is in the studio. Most welcome to gang.
Thank you.
Yes, and from what Dewa Akuro told us, download AirQo, AIRQO, air quality, because we are going to talk about the air in Kampala after this break.
Capital Gang on 91.3 Capital FM.
Imagine waking up to a dream where luxury meets tranquility. Welcome to Solana Lifestyle and Residences, a sanctuary of elegance where every detail is curated for your comfort. From impeccable security to serene garden pathways, Solana offers more than a home. It's a lifestyle. Now, your dream is within reach. Buy your home today, starting from just $142,000. Solana Lifestyle and Residences, now ready for occupancy. Book your dream home today. For more information, call our toll-free line 0800-286-773 or visit www.solanalifestyleandresidences.com. Solana Lifestyle and Residences. Live, work, play, shop. Solana is a development of NSSF Uganda.
Is your agribusiness ready to expand but struggling to find the right financing? Look no further. The support to agriculture revitalization and transformation START facility is here for you. Are you a registered company, cooperative, association, sole trader, or partnership in the agribusiness sector? UNCDF helps low-income countries to grow their economies by providing access to finance where it's needed most.
Apply today at www.start.go.ug. START 2 is brought to you by the United Nations Capital Development Fund, the Uganda Development Bank, the Private Sector Foundation, Kelly Africa, with funding from the European Union.
The Capital Gang on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome back from the break. This is the Capital Gang, and for once, pardon Lydia, the break was?
Terrible. The break with Namfi.
The break with Namfi. So, you're once again most welcome, Dr. Bruce Kirenga. Let's begin with where also, as Deo started, what do you do?
Okay, thank you. Good morning. I'm happy to be here. My name is Bruce Kirenga. I'm a professor of medicine, specifically lung medicine, which we call pulmonary medicine. I'm the director of the Lung Institute, but also until beginning of this year, I'm principal of the College of Health Sciences in Makerere.
Wow, we have a big man here in the studio. Thank you for agreeing to come to Gang. And I invited you, as I told the young man Deo here, I came to Kampala yesterday early morning, and I rarely come that early, and it was visible that the air was very, very poor. So that's when I started some research and found you and Deo Akure. What are your findings about Kampala's air?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Before the findings, maybe I first state that is that the air quality, maybe they will say that in Kampala.
No, it's Malcolm who said it.
Yes, it's not good. The air quality, maybe they will say that in Kampala.
No, it's Malcolm who said it.
Yes, it's not good. Stands at around 5 times the allowable quality. 5 times, 10 times worse. So around 70, 80, but in some places can go up to 150. So the allowable is around 15 micrograms per cubic meter of air. That is when we use one parameter of the particles. So the air is not clean. But maybe where we need to start from, because I was listening to you guys before I reached here, maybe we put this in perspective. When we talk about this air, what are we talking about? The air we have here. From our elementary science, we know most of it is nitrogen, about 78%, 21% oxygen, and a few other
You're making
gases.
me even afraid of coughing.
No. Yes. So that is one fact. So this, yes.
Yeah, go on.
So when you put that in perspective, a normal human being like all of us here, we take in about 500 to 700 mils of air per breath. That range is affected by your age, your sex, your height and race. But somewhere below 500 you are abnormal. So in each minute we breathe about 20 times. So if you are taking in 500 mils per breath times 20, just move the zero, it makes 5,000. So that 10,000 mils, that's about 10 liters of air that you are bringing into your lungs, that is interacting with your body. So that's the perspective. So normal air, as I've said, has those gases. Nothing else should be there. But as we go in life, certain things start to enter this air, and those things we call them pollutants. Now there are 6 major ones which we call criteria pollutants. Anything can contaminate air, by the way. Anything that you put there can contaminate. I don't know. Maybe yeah, maybe not. But of course the activities involved in the elections, the activities which we call anthropogenic activities, generate things which pollute air. But anyway, going back to the point, because I want to put these facts in perspective. So when you go back to these facts, those 6 criteria pollutants include what we call particulate matter, call it dust. But this dust we are talking about is not this one you see. It is very small, about the size of a hair follicle. You don't see it. Even here it is there. And I think they will show you how much we have in this room now. Then others are like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, carbon monoxide, lead. Now, when those things are added into the air becomes what? Polluted. From our studies, what we have found is that most of our pollution in Kampala, contrary actually to what you think when you have not done the studies, is particulate matter, is dust particles. What we call gas phase pollutants, that is sulfur, nitrogen dioxide, volatile organic compounds, are much lower. So most of what we are going to talk today is going to rotate around this particle pollution. Now, this particle pollution is very, very critical in damaging health. Now,
damaging
health. Now, what I heard is, because you cannot see it.
Just if you don't mind.
Yes.
So it's not factories, it is not vehicles, it is dust.
I'm coming to that. Where is this dust coming from? I think let me leave the other story. Let me go to that, Honorable, since you have asked. So where is this dust coming from? From our studies, there are 3 major sources. Number 1, combustion. I'm going to give big terms. Combustion, as we know it. Yes. So combustion is anything that involves burning. Yeah? And one of the biggest things burning in Kampala is a vehicle engine. Including the small border engine. I think as an engineer we talk about that. Because for it is 2-stroke. Yeah? And it generates more particles. So combustion. So more than the vehicle. Yes, because of the mechanics in the engine. Yeah. Now if you go now to those burning thing, the vehicle engine, yeah? When you get a jerry can of fuel, 20 liters, and put it in your vehicle. You drive around, it gets finished. But where has the mafuta gone? Now also elementary science. In elementary science they told us matter. That's what we say. But actually, from elementary science we know that fuel is matter. Matter can neither be created or destroyed. So this fuel actually has just moved from one form to another one. So it has left your vehicle. So that's one of the major causes of pollution in the city. The second one is resuspended dust. As you know, in Kampala, you will see many paved roads, what people call tarmac roads. But get off 200 meters from that road, everything will be now what we call earth or maram roads. And we are driving on those roads and resuspending the dust. Now, the problem is the big particles you see, those ones are not a problem. Because our health, when they enter into your nose, they will be dealt with. The problem are the other small ones, hair follicle size that you cannot see, which will enter into your lungs. And when they enter into your lungs again, where do they go? They will penetrate into your body, in your blood, they will be in the brain, in the legs, they will be everywhere. And we have found that actually they are not innocent. Now the third one, which is also surprising, is biomass species. You see, in most of, especially the informal settlements, everyone is cooking, is burning charcoal, is burning wood, is burning rubbish. We generate particles from that. So now those three things are the major ones. However, in areas where there are industries, of course, industries are huge generators of particle pollution, but industries also, they generate the other things I said are low, what we call gas phase. Around industries, we find from our studies, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen, those gases are higher. So that is the situation of the air. So meaning, as I conclude that, as you've heard, probably most of these things can be dealt with. Resuspended dust, of course, the combustion, the vehicle emissions, I think that's a big one. It's a big one to deal with, but there are efforts in that direction.
We have Nafka seated right next to you there. She has a baby. Malcolm has young children. When they're listening to you, it seems like doom.
And gloom.
And gloom.
And what? Okay, let me...
Hold on let's get Deo as well. So we got the app, and Malcolm, what does the app says for Deo to come on?
According to the app, at Acacia Avenue, we are at 47 p.m.
That's PM. It's what Professor is saying. From
yes, the particulate matter is 47 something per
cubic meter.
Per cubic meter.
So take it from there,
and it is unhealthy for sensitive groups.
Right.
Like lactating mothers and others.
Right. Yeah.
Does it actually say?
No, it says sensitive groups.
Oh.
They can let us know who falls within that group.
Yeah, I think Dr. Bruce obviously is more qualified to talk about sensitive groups. Right. Yeah.
The air quality. They just.
Sir,
go on.
Yes, Oscar. Yeah. So I also want to start from where we stopped at the beginning.
And remember, part of your mission is to persuade Ssemujju
exactly.
that
so that's
this call on air quality is important.
I want to start from where we stopped.
Yes.
Right. So I think if you frame it as kind of an utopian problem, maybe that can get lost along the way. But let me try to bring it home. There's actually a real economic implication when it comes to poor air quality. There's a study done, I think, a couple of years ago from the OECD that the cost of air pollution actually in Africa is about $400 billion. $400 billion. So that's about maybe 9 times the economy of Uganda. This is the economic cost of that. But if I bring it home in terms of the health, so
how many times more?
about maybe 8 to 9 times the cost of Uganda, because we had 50 billion more, 50, 60 billion. Exactly. So I think there's a real, there's a vote winner or a vote loser in this actually. So it's not just, this is, this is for some elite bubble. I think in terms of the health numbers as well, every year you're looking at about 1.2 million deaths from air pollution in Africa. That's now much higher than other, health challenges that we know, whether it's sanitation and all the different, known ailments. I think obviously Bruce here can provide more context on that. So I think in terms of the problem, actually there's a real issue to tackle here. And even locally here, you can try to quantify how much we lose, economic implication of, traffic, of, delayed transit between one point to another, the health cost. So I think that probably makes more sense, and hopefully at the end of this you'll be more persuaded that actually this is something that touches on the real people. In many ways, the people who are actually more vulnerable, who cannot insulate themselves, are the people on the lower socioeconomic strata. You're talking about maybe informal settlements because they may not have access to, cleaner cooking alternatives. They're the ones using, when you talk about biomass, as has been explained, the people actually affected are the voters in Kira municipality, a good number of them, because they might not have access to clean alternatives. Thank you. I think we're getting somewhere. Yeah. Right. So, what do these numbers mean? The 42. So on a daily, the guideline value, what is considered to be healthy, it's 15, as has been explained earlier. So that's about maybe 3 times. So if we have that average maybe over the next 18 hours, that means we've been exposed to pollution levels about 3 times what is recommended. It doesn't even stop that. It gets much worse, because if you extend that to annual guidelines, about 5. It's just 5. Yeah. So 5, if you have 40, that's about 8 times. So imagine you're staying here in Kampala and maybe all the other major cities as well. You're being exposed to repeatedly. We have these 2 politicians in the studio. They are outdoors all the time, shouting at people. People are shouting back. Right. So their exposure is greater than ours. Absolutely.
But language teacher, there's a difference between talking and shouting.
On the campaign rally you must shout, Lydia.
Yeah. Use microphone.
Right.
They're what now?
Gone. Yes. So I think in terms of kind of how we can get out of this, firstly also to confirm that this is not just a Uganda, Kampala problem. I think it's really a global phenomenon. And the way it's framed is as a wicked problem. Wicked meaning that what we do alone is not sufficient to be able to take care of the problem. Even if we clean up Uganda, clean up Kampala, we also need our neighbors to put their house in order for us to. So it's really a highly collaborative issue for us to move forward. And
moving forward, people keep saying plant trees and so on. How is that helpful?
Again, because there are many things that need to happen almost at the same time. And I think for me, before I go into the specifics of plant trees, let's walk, let's do this. I think I hope we'll see a time where environmental issues, in this case, because air quality becomes an electoral issue, so that when you go. Yes, it becomes an electoral issue. So I think, and that comes, we need to build that capacity so that people, the citizens, because I think if you look at the example of the recent, how do you call the penalty system? Because of public uproar, that eventually, in some way, it was some reversal that was done. I'm not sure whether it's going to be long term. But I think
it may come back, but fairer.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that level of civic engagement, maybe that could possibly, get us where we are talking, environmental issues, all these issues on when it comes to electric. Because at the end of the day, we need the big decisions to happen. I think we made several commitments, whether it's on the constitution, whether it's on the all the policy commitments we've had. But that if we don't really engage more proactively, that will end up just being, just a paperwork exercise.
Yeah.
We have something written, but then, there's no matter. So I think there's a lot of work that needs to happen.
Yes. Back to you, Professor Kirenga. It says someone, Matt Monon X says, is using air conditioning in cars safe. And Lydia is air conditioning all the time. So when you're answering that one, you can look at her. But Jacob is very comic here, very satirical. Uganda's urban poor who are burning Kavera and riding old border and all taxis are punishing you, the rich. We are all breathing poisoned air, ministers and beggars alike. Happily, the MPs are breathing the same poison. The keyword was happily. Maybe they will get serious. So, MPs are breathing the same poison. The keyword was happily. Maybe they will get serious. So,
but of course, as a lung doctor, we have taken to understand the impact of air conditioning. Air conditioning, the process, of course, the engineer is here, is trying to move this air into, I think there's an air conditioner here, at such a very high speed and condense it, so the temperature could reduce. That's actually what is happening. In addition, air conditioners have attempted, they have 4 grades actually, but I won't go into that, also attempt to remove impurities in the air. Yes. And so theoretically, the air getting to you through an air conditioner should be cleaner. But it depends on how the air conditioner has been maintained. Now, this vehicle air conditioning in the home, engineers will tell you they need to be serviced at a regular intervals for them to help you. Now, I will come to what bothers people about air conditioning is the reduced temperature. In lung science, we have something which we call the air nose velocity. By the time the air gets to your nose for you to breathe it in, it should come at a certain speed and at a certain temperature so that your airway can be able to deal with it, humidify it, warm it, such that it is good for you. So actually what is happening is that when people react to this air conditioning, that is actually what is happening. How far is the air condition from you? Where is the stream coming from? Is your air conditioner well maintained? So when your machine is well maintained and you have pressed it at the right distance and your airway is okay, the air condition should be fine. But for certain people who have allergies, they will react to the air conditioner. So it should be case by case. So I hope that could clarify for people about air conditioning. But if you react to the air conditioner, because that's the main treatment of allergy is avoidance. If you react to something, avoid it. If you find you react to air conditioner, you will avoid it. Now, allow me to say something about a certain grade, because we are talking about air conditioner, a certain grade of air cleaning. These air cleaners are different from air conditioners. For them, we make them in such a way that they will adsorb pollutants. They don't remove. They will adsorb pollutants. For example, in this room, you could press your air cleaner here, and this air cleaner will attract the particles from the air. The air conditioner is not doing that. It's trying to clean what is coming in. So the adsorber will pick the particles or the air pollutants within the room. Actually, this is one of the things we are recommending to some of our sensitive patients. People who have lung diseases, people who are over falling sick, you stay in Kampala, your office is in the center of the town, we advise you and prescribe an air cleaner, put it in the corner of your room. It will actually show you even on a monitor how much particles it is removing as part of treatment.
Wow. Nafi, I've seen you writing copious notes. So you with the baby, are you going to have a mask for the baby?
Oscar, why are you cutting words? No, the reason why I think it's air quality here is part of a greater problem we have as a country. It's like talking about air quality in Somalia. It's even if you cleaned it up, the bombs will come and just pollute it. So even if we, the individuals, would try to do our best, the system is in government, and I think this is where an app is good because especially when you want to appeal to the younger generation, like the Gen Zs, they'll respond to the app, and then they can get concerned. Of course, you have to listen to your body because it never lies. If the quality is not good, you will feel it. You'll actually feel it. So
I have just thought maybe sometimes I should wear a mask.
The problem in Uganda, when you wear a mask, people will stare at you like, do you have some diseases that we should know about?
I'm old enough to handle that.
To handle the stares. But I think in some countries, you've seen them even go as far as wear masks. Because when you go to some Asian countries, you'll find that people wear masks on a daily basis in a normal course of events. So, and I think maybe they can prescribe more solutions, because from what he was saying, he described the problem. And we understand the problem, we feel the problem, we live with the problem. So what are the solutions? What can we do individually? Would you recommend, like Oscar is saying, individuals just, randomly wear masks? How feasible is it? How will it help? Does it make us live longer? Because I think Ssemujju pointed out something. In a country where we have so many problems, air quality becomes a cosmetic problem. And I'm not trivializing your role. And as a doctor, this is... you see so much damage that it can do. So when someone says we have bigger problems, you may push back against that. But the truth is that as a country, we have much bigger problems than air quality. And I think your starting point, in addition to the app, should be government. When you talk to government, target certain, because we have whole ministries for this, the environment and they should be pushing this campaign, and they should be setting up policies, because, and the irony is we have all these policies in books somewhere about air quality and how we should improve it, but of course they're never implemented because of, number one, the cost, and no one is prioritizing it. And again, if we chose better parliamentarians, maybe we would have people who are clever enough to understand even what you're talking about. So it starts there with the leadership. Yeah. So we cycle, but then you will agree with me you're talking about. So it starts there with the leadership. Yeah. So we cycle, but then you will agree with me.
I disagree with you in some ways, because I've been campaigning, telling people to use better cooking oil, and
they're using better cooking oil
in some ways, because I've been campaigning, telling people to use better cooking oil, and
they're using better cooking oil. And you campaign and you go to parliament and you push it, recruit about 30 MPs to your cause, and then you go, you start with your local leadership about the cooking oil, and then you spread it out. But Oscar, the proprietor of Tiber, talking to a few handful of cooking people about cooking oil.
Tiber, but we have students who tell them use better cooking oil. But if Ssemujju goes on his campaign and says plant some trees, and
no one is going to listen, the army will be there.
Chair will listen. Dale, before we stop for
will they?
Just some small information. So in 2020, when we had the lockdown, you remember at the time mobility.
Are you listening?
Mobility 2020 when you had the lockdown. So mobility was restricted in Kampala. That means we had less cars. So we collected this data within that period. And actually, air quality improved by up to 50% in that period. And if you're keen enough,
but cars are a menace we need.
Those of us who follow the subject. Exactly. So that's a conversation we should be having. Is that you could even see clearer skies.
There is an environmental levy that is paid of the second-hand cars, which government never uses for these causes. It should be used because, it's a good thing. I hate paying it, But it's a good thing because then we bring in better cars or newer cars. It encourages us.
Let him finish that sentence he was giving, and then we stop for a quick break.
Yeah, I think to pick on that very point, I think it's one of the questions I always like to pose, is whether you can really legislate yourself out of pollution. Because that levy between 2017 and 2021,
that's a good question.
Uganda imported registered 600,000 vehicles. 70% of those were motorcycles. That's 120. So it's like within within 5 years.
Yeah.
So that might not necessarily, be very effective as well. Even if you increase that, people might actually just buy more cars. So I think it's a deeper, problem. We cannot afford to simplify it. Okay. So even if everyone decided to put in a mask, and then so what? What about those who cannot afford? Yeah. So I think there's, an infrastructure question. There's a policy question. There's a kind of, an engagement. Exactly. Yeah. So I think there's lots of streams of arguments we need to put to the table. And I think for me, my aspiration really making sure that this actually could become hopefully a campaign issue.
Let's stop for a quick break, and we stop for a quick break, and then we'll ask Ssemujju whether he considered it further.
The Capital Gang on 91.3 Capital FM.
To all our taxpayers across Uganda, thank you for fulfilling your tax obligations. Because of you, Uganda is moving forward. We have new airports being constructed. We also have new sports stadiums being constructed. Because of you, new roads are being constructed. Furthermore, we have safe and secure borders because of you. Thank you, taxpayers. Your taxes are building a stronger, healthier, and more prosperous Uganda. Uganda Revenue Authority appreciates you for your commitment to national growth.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
I have walked to the district 6 times. Hey, Uncle Dan, what is wrong? Are you okay? I am tired. This building permit, moving up and down, bring this document, bring that. But Uncle Dan, why don't you use BIMS? BIMS? What is that? The Building Industry Management System. Just upload your documents online, submit, generate PRA, and simply pay through mobile money of the bank. Get an e-building permit, and that is it. That's it. Everything online. So no more. No more. Are you a developer? Get your e-building permit today through BIMS, the Building Industry Management System. Simply log on to bims.go.ug, upload your documents, and track your application step by step.
Self-building, better living.
Capital Gang on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome back from the break. Malcolm, you're saying quickly before Ssemujju?
I was saying that the air quality at Coral Airstrip is much better than the air quality at Acacia Avenue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It might from the app. Yes, it might be the borders.
Yeah. The Sam in Makinde has measured, says the air quality over there terrible. So, Honorable Ssemujju, how can you bring this air quality to the campaign? The good thing is our road is being fixed, Nigeria Road, so maybe that will improve. But Professor here said that dust is not as dangerous as the other dust.
As I said, if you ask an ordinary person to list his priorities, that will not be one of them. But after listening to Professor and the engineer,
Crispy in London is saying, are there air cleaners for cars? Crispy Kahel, yes.
You appreciate the importance of the subject that they are addressing.
Your friend, who you must mention all the time on Gang, the president of Uganda, wears a mask all the time. So maybe he knows a thing or two.
I am not sure. Sometimes I say the RM7 is very pretentious. I will not be surprised that he can put on a mask in his bedroom. Seven can do that.
I thought I'd given you an opportunity to say something nice.
Because
yes, this opportunity to say something nice.
You're dealing with someone who will be taking the direction of massacre.
Okay.
But his destination is danger.
So you're saying now you've listened to Professor and they were and
I thought you still wanted me to continue.
Yeah, but I'm changing. I'm changing the direction.
I have listened to them.
Yeah.
As Namfi, I want to hear more on what the ordinary person can do, either to avoid the problem or to improve the the quality itself. Because Uganda, if you look at the last population and housing census report, we have 5.2 million border borders in the country. So these border borders have become the main mode of transport, almost public transport, not even private, but public transport. And the number can only increase. So what do we do in circumstances like those? But on a policy level, maybe Lydia will answer that one. Where I stay, I neighbor an industrial park. When they are setting it up there, they never visited us. They never told us in how many kilometers we should leave, where the settlement should begin from. In the evening, and especially towards the daybreak, you begin breathing things that are smelling like a fuel. I don't know how dangerous those are, and whether you advise us to now relocate, because those factories, some of them, I'm not sure that they work at the same pace like they do at night, and there are many. So I am more interested now that I have appreciated the problem. I mean, because of too many problems that we engage with every day, people are turning up at I was telling a friend, it is very rare that I will receive someone at home asking me about parliamentary work. Those who turn up in the morning, school fees, health bill, what. Remember, Oscar, the problem we had here when we were discussing COVID. We had, as MPs, given ourselves 20 million, which, by the way, was put properly in the budget. But Museveni and the public the elite found the problem with it. And I told you, Oscar, the life we live is different. That time I had more than 300 people knocking at my door every day looking for food. Just food, basic food. One time we found a problem to buy maize because I couldn't put up with the pressure. Then I had to go to Mandela to buy. So I said, how will these people hear me that they have given me 20 million? I have returned it, and then I tell them, you go away, I don't have food. I said, so these things are real. It's not a theory. That they hear I am here because Namfi and elite has told me, this is very bad. Return the money. For them, they are at my door, and what they need is 2 kilograms of kawunga.
It's still justifying that choice.
No, I'm telling you that sometimes very hard when you engage with these problems.
So talking about air quality.
Yes, look at the areas where people stay. The other day, Museveni was in Kasokoso. The whole of Bukasa, we neighbor Namambe Industrial Park. So what are the choices? And I want to know, because I now appreciate the dangers. But what are the choices? Because if you're going to preach to someone who stays outside the importance of staying in a house, that's the choice that has been presented to him. So where do I go? Like people who are in Palestine now. So you either die of starvation or they shoot you. So they present you with two options, which are no options. So I want to hear from the professor and the engineer, in our ordinary lives, what can we do to minimize the danger?
Anthony says the air in Kampala is dirty, which has escalated respiratory diseases and some of the issues we face with organ failure, collecting money to go to India for operation, investing in lower hospital, and so on and so forth.
Before he answers,
he's not going to answer.
I wanted to know whether flowers actually, there are some people, some elite people who have tried at least to use some interventions. There are all these gadgets on the market. I think the app should go a long way into sensitizing whether any of these works. The flowers, the certain flowers which have a reputation of cleaning up air in houses, do they work? Are they any help?
Irritants. Then Malcolm, Miss Norman Magembe, from your explanations, it seems like Africans are the worst affected by air pollution. But in my opinion, the Bazungu get more cancers and lung diseases than us. Just like it was with COVID, our immune system seems to be stronger. I think Norman Magembe is not factual because the age, what do we call it, the mortality age, I forget the term that is used, in Uganda is far lower than
life expectancy.
Life expectancy, yes. is far lower than what he's attesting.
No, but I think he does have a point, because when you look at the life expectancy, it might be over things that are more avoidable. Here, each time I drive on a highway and I see kids walking, a kid of about 3 years walking along a highway back home, and I'm thinking, how safe is this one? When you talk about the infant mortality rate, I'm assuming again that contributes to life expectancy. So there are certain things that might be worse off here that lead us to having a higher life expectancy, lower life expectancy than things like lung disease, which are more serious conditions. That said, when Professor was speaking, Professor Chirenga was speaking, I was thinking how many of the conditions get diagnosed?
Yeah.
How many actually get reported? People will get lung issues and go for other alternative treatments. People will think, we'll get lung issues and probably get other opportunistic infections that then take them on, and they don't get to know that they actually had a challenge with the lungs. Oscar, when two guests were speaking about the air quality, I quickly, and they mentioned the borders, I quickly checked some of the areas where borders prevail a little bit more than others, and you will see that generally the CBD, we are at I think 95 in terms of poor quality, and that is very, very bad. Acacia Avenue is at 41, 47. Kololo airstrip area is at 20 something. And I think the app is fantastic because it gives you even different countries. I've seen the Gambia has very good air quality. So Oscar, when you're looking to go on vacation, to breathe better,
go to Gambia.
It might be expensive to get there, but I think that this is actually a very serious issue. I disagree with those that are trivializing it in the face of other issues. I don't think it has to be either one or the other. When you're talking about people's health, if it is malaria, if it is HIV, if it is, then the air quality must be a part of that, from what you've explained, because these things get into us and you don't know they are there. Then next thing you know, you have a brain tumor and you don't know what created it. But it could have been these particles that were being, this is some of the things that crossed my mind when you are speaking. And air quality is increasingly becoming a factor in some of the decision making that is happening around the world. We are here touting our tourism. People are going to refuse to come to this country to tour it because the quality of the air is poor. If there is a country that has better air quality, then they take that decision. Conferences, we celebrated NAM. Maybe NAM might not have been very key on air quality, but there are some others that might choose not to because of the air quality. So I think that there are several ways in which these issues can be made more practical and more day to day for us as Ugandans.
Yes.
And we can see how to individually be able to make small changes that can have a bigger impact.
Lydia, talk of air quality. There's a time when Bale had very good air quality, but Bale City, I'm not so sure. Chris Speaker says
before the borders,
implementing strict emission standards, encouraging public transportation, and investing in green spaces can transform. And
we've been having a big campaign about afforestation in the country. Even you in the Rotary have been planting trees. I think that has been part of the
green mission.
The green mission and the green campaign to ensure that we restore the fresh air, because the forests help us to restore fresh air, but also stabilize the ecosystem. But listening to Honorable Ssemujju about industrial parks and industries, there must be reports about the environmental impact assessment reports before buildings or construction of, especially on issues like even wetlands. So I really hope that the oversight role of the Parliament can do that, so that the environmental impact assessment reports are enforced. We are talking about Ssemujju. We have been, the last 5 years or so, the country has been talking about the oil and gas industry. That's an area that actually is heavy on industry, but also on issues of environment and air pollution. So I hope that you are up the game now that in Parliament.
You know, when people talked about those air pollution and everything regarding the oil, they were seen as saboteurs. And I said, let's you know, when people talked about those air pollution and everything regarding the oil, they were seen as saboteurs. And I said, let's
speak about oil and gas industry without the strength of NEMA. And NEMA and other agencies speaking to those reports of the impact assessment, environmental impact assessment, before any project takes place. It's also a question of planning. So if you are in a wetland, if you are in the settlement, Ssemujju, you cannot have an industry that relates with the settlements. There must be planned settlements, even in the factory. So these are some of the questions out there. But fortunately, we have institutions. If they don't work, there must be a question there. If Parliament has an oversight committee role, you do your work, and then we see. Because if factories are found settlement there, then who stays? One of them must stay. I mean, you remember when they were chasing people from wetlands, and someone says, "What are you doing in a home of frogs?" If we can protect wetlands and frogs, what about human beings?
I recently read about it.
We must coexist in an ecosystem so that we not only survive but also thrive.
Lydia, leave that frog alone. It's an
in an ecosystem so that we not only survive but also thrive.
Lydia, leave that frog alone. It's an
in an ecosystem so that we not only survive but also thrive.
Lydia, leave that frog alone. It's an
in an ecosystem so that we not only survive but also thrive.
Lydia, leave that frog alone. It's an international with Dale.
Yeah, I think I'm happy that we've made progress with Honorable. So I think for me, my appeal, I think, to all of us and obviously to our colleagues in the media is that we need to. This should not be something a conversation that happens maybe whenever there's a newspaper article, but every other day. With the app, with what ERCO is doing in trying to collect data, we actually deploy over 350 monitoring locations across Africa in 16 cities. So that's quite a big undertaking. And I think if, for example, maybe before you start the show, you give us an update on air quality. Every weekend, that will actually be, would go a long way in trying to educate and empower the people. But I'm sure you give us an update on air quality. Every weekend, that will actually be, would go a long way in trying to educate and empower the people. But I'm sure you give us an update on air quality. Every weekend, that will actually be, would go a long way in trying to educate and empower the people. But I'm sure you give us an update on air quality. Every weekend, that will actually be, would go a long way in trying to educate and empower the people. But I'm sure you give us an update on air quality. Every weekend, that will actually be, would go a long way in trying to educate and empower the people. But I'm sure you give us an update on air quality. Every weekend, that will actually be, would go a long way in trying to educate and empower the people. But within communities, so in those communities, in your local neighborhood, you can empower the people. But within communities, so in those communities, in your local neighborhood, neighborhood is, I think we should aspire to have self-sustaining neighborhoods, whereby you don't need to come to the city to get a service, but this should be happening, within our, but that takes time to build. And I think, what does this mean for the everyday person? So get a service, but this should be happening, within our, but that takes time to build. And I think, what does this mean for the everyday person? So to stop using charcoal firewood, but what can they do within their means, the person? So to stop using charcoal firewood, but what can they do within their means, the person? So to stop using charcoal firewood, but what can they do within their means, that could have an impact, but that's not enough. There has to be, more interventions at different levels.
Okay.
But I don't think the message, but I don't want to remove the mic.
Yes. Professor Bruce Kirenga.
You download the app and measure the air quality, especially those with allergies and
Professor, you're on microphone now. What would you like to finish with?
Thank you so much,
Oscar.
Actually, when I saw your poster, says what should we do?
Yeah.
So I had actually prepared in my head to tell people what we should do.
And we have all of 4 minutes to do that.
But the gangsters, when I was at home, they threw us off balance by saying this thing, it doesn't exist. So we've spent the hour firefighting to convince them it exists. But I would say a couple of exists. So we've spent the hour firefighting to convince them it exists. But I would say a couple of related to some of these universal risk factors which we need to address. This them exists. But I would say a couple of related to some of these universal risk factors which we need to address. Where I'm
Prof, go to the microphone.
Where I'm looking at the impact of this air pollution on TB. TB is one of the things which has refused to leave Africa.
Yeah.
And when you go there, you see the experiments we are doing. So we are not speculating. When we finally conclude that it is associated, it is associated. Then the other thing which I have to say is we started this work actually in 2014. That's actually how air quality work started in Uganda. And how did it happen? When I was in the US for my fellowship, my supervisor, who had been to Kampala, told me, for your project you are going to do air quality in Kampala. I already had my very good project. So we came and started doing that work. And at that time, why I'm saying this, I'm surprised. It seems I am where I was in 2014, because at that time, the leader of one of the agencies called me and said, Bruce, what is this nonsense you have published? It seems 10 years later, I'm still in the same place. Yes, of course, that shows how much we are not doing as scientists to really sensitize. So the other thing is, what can people do at a personal level? And I think that's the important thing. At a personal level, one, of course, know your air quality using these apps, or believe people who have known it. Secondly, there are what we call personal protection measures. The mask is one of them. It reduces particle exposures. But of course, the protection depends on the mask. I don't have enough time to explain. Starting from a cloth mask to a 3 double layer that we are using in COVID. So the protection. You can use a mask. One, you can avoid, I already talked about that, especially for sensitive groups. You have heart disease, you have lung disease, you are vulnerable, people above the age of 65, you have all chronic diseases. You can choose to avoid places which are not clean. We will tell you from airco, this air pollution actually fluctuates during the day. You can choose to go to town off peak if you know you are vulnerable. The other one, which we can do at personal level, is try as much as possible not to generate polluting things around around you. This is what he's talking about, the biomass. If you know you are vulnerable, try not to cook using firewood, using charcoal if possible. But also there is another habit, burning rubbish.
Yeah.
Gather all the caveras and put them in your compound in the evening. You are taking your tea and start burning. Okay. Meanwhile, you have a child who is asthmatic. Tomorrow they will be in hospital for an attack. Then at system level, I have to mention we didn't have enough time. Actually, KCCA has already picked up this. They now have what we call Air Quality Week. It happens in May. Yeah, they have also installed monitors, and the green packs they are putting. All that is the effort. But I don't have enough time to say what we are doing. But they have picked it up, and they are doing something. I think they did. Because they now have portable monitors. Now, lastly, lastly, the other thing which can be done, and this one I think may be the leaders who are here, Honorable and others, this issue of unpaved small roads in Kampala. If you paved all these roads, you would cut this air pollution by 50%.
Yeah.
Now, engineers could tell us cheaper models of paving these roads. You've been to Addis Ababa. They don't pave like this in the side roads. No, they have where they put their stones. So we should come up with a cheaper way. And as neighborhoods, you can actually also decide to come as a group and pave your they call them what, those sidewalks in your neighborhood as a community, because these particles are not only a nuisance, they are a danger to your health. So if you are like 10 homes, you could pave. If there was a cheaper way of paving the road. And lastly, the big animal, the vehicle engines. Yeah. We need to have efficient engines, and we need to monitor them to make sure that the small things which can be done is talking about. If you don't have to use a car, don't use a car. Yeah? There is also another habit. You see, sorry about the borders, I hope I am not misunderstood. Do you see them on the stage? They are always firing that engine. But they are not going anywhere. But they don't know what they are doing. You know that place where they stay?
Yeah.
You see them firing the engine.
Vroom, vroom, yeah.
Yes. And you know, emissions are higher at the start of the engine.
Yeah.
Everyone is firing. Just tell them, please don't fire this thing. Because for me, they come to me. Most of them young people already have very damaged. Everyone is firing. Just tell them, please don't fire this thing. Because for me, they come to me. Most of them young people already have very damaged. Everyone is firing. Just tell them, please don't fire this thing. Because for me, they come to me. Most of them young people already have very damaged their campaign, which will start in September, and they will resensitize them such that they grow up when they know the impact of these things. I really want to thank you. Probably this also will increase the awareness of this air quality, but it's very difficult to tell people that this air now is very dirty when they cannot see it. Yeah. It's very difficult, but we have to believe in science. Yes, because when we told you COVID is killing you, has anyone of you ever seen it?
No.
The COVID virus. Because you can't touch it, but you believed us. Yeah. I think even here you have to believe us.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then you're saying even here we need to believe us.
Thank you. I think I will stop there.
So, but you've achieved, because I've not seen Honorable Ssemujju with a worried face in a long time.
So how do people get that?
It has worked.
How do you market that?
I want to thank Professor Bruce Chirenga. Thank you so much with the advice you've given us on gang. Engineer Dewu Akure, thank you so much. Namfi, good to have you back on gang. Welcome back. Malcolm.
Thank you, Oscar.
Yes. Honorable Ssemujju, Honorable Wanyoto, we wish you all the best in your elections.
Here is a support of Malcolm. You have to come to Mbale City and campaign.
A message Musoke informs says, no, this is that one is not good to read out.
I'm just starting.
Someone, I couldn't find it here. Someone said, it is Greens Kansime. Says, in Ankore sub-region without 1 billion, you cannot dream of contesting for a parliamentary election, for a parliamentary seat. Otherwise, you'll be humiliated. Thank you, Star Cafe, for powering the gang. Deo has a gift he wants to give to the gangsters. Very quickly, can you read out what's on the shirt?
Yes, so the shirt is...
Did you first get our sizes?
You
hope so?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just came from Nairobi, where
now if you listen, you're going to get a gift.
We launched a renewed vision for partnership. We are leading a movement that's Africa-wide, really, Africa Pina Network, that provides a platform to unite partners across disciplines, across borders, and across expertise to tackle this problem.
Quick, we're out of time. What's on the shirt?
So the network, so this is just for you to be champions and ambassadors of air quality, not just in Uganda but in Africa, everywhere, because it's a cross-border issue.
But we'll start in Uganda.
Start in Uganda.
Yes. Prof, we must have you back soon. Talk about maybe clots. Do clots go to the lungs? Yeah, so that's what I feel good, Malcolm, that we've had a clean show. So the next time we have a clean show, we'll go to clothes.
Professor has been nominated to be Minister for Innovation.
Someone has said that. I didn't want to say it. Thank you so much. I am...